Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell, and come and join us. All right. And listen, if you've been rolling with me already, just hit the like button. All right. So we had the Fed speak today, and there is a saying that only a fool trades while the Fed is speaking. I was a bit foolish today, and I traded while the Fed was speaking. I traded while he was speaking, and I made some foolish money because I'm actually, every time I trade the Fed meeting, I make money, right? So he decided to hold rates right where they are, though a lot of us think it's time to start lowering it. Of course, he cannot go down by 2% all at once. He's not going to do that. That's just not going to happen. And that would actually be bad for the markets. It just won't happen, good people. But the back and forth between him and the president is not good either on both sides, okay? And we got to do what's best for the country. Anyway, let's listen to what he said.
The Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged. We believe that the current stance of monetary policy leaves us well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. The effects of tariffs will depend, among other things, on their ultimate level. Expectations of that level, and thus of the related economic effects, reached a peak in April and have since declined. Even so, increases in tariffs this year are likely to push up prices and weigh on economic activity. It takes some time for tariffs to work their way through the chain of distribution to the end consumer. A good example of that would be goods being sold at retailers today may have been imported several months ago before tariffs were imposed. So we're beginning to see some effects, and we do expect to see more of them over coming months. We do also see price increases in some of the relevant categories like personal computers and audiovisual equipment and things like that are attributable to tariff increases.
Why wouldn't it be better to have rates at a more neutral setting as the economy heads into this period of very high uncertainty?
So if you just look backward at the data, that's what you would say, but that's not. We have to be forward-looking, and the thing that every forecaster, every outside forecaster, and the Fed is saying is that we expect a meaningful amount of inflation to arrive in coming months, and we have to take that into account. So I think a backward-looking look would lead you to a neutral stance, but we can't. We have to look at that, and because the economy is still solid, we can take the time to actually see what's going to happen.
So he said also that tariff uncertainty has diminished. So we're starting to see the effects of tariffs, but he expects more tariff data, or should I say inflation from tariffs to hit. He said, what is that? He said no comment he had on the war, though the president, I'll play a clip from him in a minute, had something to say today, but he had no comment on the war. And he did say, of course, rising oil prices and that it will not have a lasting effect on the economy. He said it's transitory. No, he didn't say transitory. He said it's temporary, okay? It was priced in, good people. It was expected. We could see what's happening right here, right? We got the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ. Everything closed flat. We're just going to call this a flat day. Look at this. We started here. We ended here, So you can just call that a flat day. But there was money to be made here. The meeting started about right here. That's where the meeting started, went down, came right back up to where it went down. And then here we go with the got you questions. Here's where we made money going down right here with the got you questions. This happens, good people, every single Fed meeting during the Q&A, and then boom, right back up. That's where we were. This is not a bad day. If you woke up, if you went to bed this morning and woke up here, you looked and you saw no change while all of this happened. All right. So that's what's going on. Let's listen a bit to what the president had to say when he held a press meeting earlier today in the White House.
That's right. The president took some questions from reporters in the Oval Office a short time ago, just over this past hour, in fact. He was having a photo op with the Italian soccer team Juventus and answered a couple of questions, one of which was about whether or not he has seen the criticism from conservative commentator Tucker Carlson about the idea of the United States getting involved in the war against Iran. The president said that he disagrees with those conservatives who are skeptics about military conflict. Here's what he said.
And they say, well, we don't want to fight. Well, you're going to have to make a choice because it's possible that you're going to have to fight for them not to have nuclear.
Meanwhile, a statement from the Iranian government, this is from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. It's a warning or threat, really, to the people of Israel. What they say is the IRGC Aerospace Division's thunderous missiles will not allow you a moment outside your underground shelters. Either choose a slow death in the hellish life of bomb shelters or save yourselves from the 24-hour missile rain. Flee the lands your ancestors seized if you wish to survive. So the rhetoric on all sides heating up. But Morgan, you've got to say, just watching the president's photo op a short time ago, he did feel, he just gave off a very reluctant vibe. This is a president who's clearly ambivalent about this idea of the U.S. getting involved here. He said he's got a meeting in the Situation Room coming up this hour, and he said he still has not made any final decision.
All right, there you go, good people. That's what's happening with the war. The market actually absorbed that good. Also, the market has been resilient with a lot of strong headwinds that are blowing against it. So actually really surprising me. Okay, so the markets just kind of flattened out. Crypto kind of flattened out too. Didn't do much today as we look at crypto. Look at that 104.7 the last hour flat. The last 24 hours absolutely flat. All right. I'll call that flat. We'll call it just flat. XRP, flat. Solana, we'll call that down 1 point. We're not going to go into anything else. So it was a pretty flat day. We'll take it. I did do a little buying more Bitcoin. And for those of you in Money Moves, you saw everything that I'm buying. I post everything there. Senate passes a genius stablecoin bill giving crypto industry first major legislative win. All right. Here's what's going on with that. Okay. Bus family to sell Lakers. Wow. They're selling the Lakers. Wow. All right. Look, the Genius Act established the first federal framework for dollar-pegged stablecoins, granting sweeping authority to the Department of Treasury and opening the door for banks, fintechs, and retailers. Okay. Democrats failed to secure a provision borrowing the president from profiting. All right. So Democrats tried to block the president from profiting, even as Trump disclosed earning $57 million from token sales in 2024 alone. Wow. Industry giants like Amazon and Walmart are reportedly moving towards stablecoin style offering as payment networks brace for disruption. All right? Disruption. So this is a game changer, good people, a game changer. Now, I want you to look at this. Chase Bank consumers can now use XRP to pay credit card loans and mortgages, as well as earn cash back in CTF tokens. Okay, so now this is kind of old. This is kind of old news, right? But remember when the CEO of Chase Bank was so negative about crypto? He was so negative about Bitcoin. It's funny money, blah 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 blah. Right? Remember when I told you guys they talk, one way out of one side of their mouth, but then they doing something else. Watch what they do and not what they say. Look at this. JPMorgan moves towards future into crypto with a stablecoin-like token. JPMD is their stablecoin token that they are looking to get into. Let's read further. U.S. banking giant JPMorgan is launching its alternative to a stablecoin called JPMD. Look at that. The new product is so-called deposit token that's designed to serve as a digital representation of commercial bank money, right? So we're here. They want a piece of the action. JPMorgan said the benefit of launching a deposit token over a stablecoin is the close connection with traditional banking systems. So they want that money off of the payment system. Now, of course, we know that XRP Ripple launched its own stablecoin, and it's going to be a race, good people. Now, depending on, which one really put themselves in the place where they have to be used, then that's going to be the winner. And if it's not XRP, XRP is in huge trouble. But if it is XRP, XRP is going to shine. All right. But as you could see, some of the big dogs now want some of that money because it's fast. It's 24 hours. You don't have to worry about, like tomorrow, the market will be closed tomorrow because it is a holiday, Juneteenth. So now you got payment systems that don't have to wait for traditional banking to be open on weekends, Sundays and Saturdays closed. All of the federal holidays closed. And then just the slow speed of transaction. And so now you got JPMorgan wanting to get into it. Now, I will say this about JPMorgan. They have always said, the CEO, Jamie Dimon, he has always said that he was a fan of blockchain technology. So if you remember, I was talking about stable coins and them legalizing stable coins or putting a framework around stable coins. And that's when things are going to be shored up. Of course, we don't want the Fed or the government too deep into our crypto because it's supposed to be decentralized. But let's hope that they don't overstep, which they will, and mess things up. And lastly, good people, so I just think that Monday will be the day that the market truly reacts. I don't think that it overreacted or underreacted to the Fed meeting, right? The Fed really didn't say anything earth-shattering, and I think the market acted like it should, all right? So it was easy. Now, I like volatility when I'm trading, so here's what I want to end with. For those of you that do not or are not in money moves, I'm going to show you what we did. So this is what I was looking at. And for those of you that are taking money moves, you understand everything that you are seeing right here. You're understanding every single thing that you see. And this is how we made money. We made money right here. Okay. We made money right here, riding this from here all the way down. Boom. Then I actually made some more money going right back up. Okay. So we printed money. And I was showing people live while the FOMC meeting was on. I had it on in Money Moves. I streamed it live as I was live training, not trading, live training everything we've learned up to this point, as you could see here. So we understood exactly what was going on here and we made money. All right. So I made a quick like 400 and let's say around $450 literally in minutes. And a few of those guys made money too. Come and join us. That's Money Moves. It's going to be the top link below. All of the classes are still up. There's still time for you to start from the beginning and just take your time step by step and learn, and then you could earn, not just with the plays that I give you, but you can find your own plays too. I made it, all right, with a splitting headache. Hey, good people, I will see you Friday. Remember, tomorrow the market is closed. The FOMC meeting was a big fat nothing burger. I don't think it's anything to be fearful of until the next thing happens. Of course, generally with these wars, something jumps off over the weekend. So I'm going to keep my eye on the Middle East this weekend. If nothing happens, that'll be good news. We'll see you in Money Moves, on Friday. We'll see you there, okay? As we continue to learn and earn. Peace.